please don't throw rocks at us because we're doing the best we can. Now, okay,
or poop.
Now, look, a lot of people probably don't really understand what was happening. Now,
so this film was based on what was happening in Bosnia in 1993.
Okay, there was quite a few countries in the Balkans, and it was all one country at one stage of the game called Yugoslavia. Now, younger people may not even remember that now. It's going back a while, and some people now are driving around in cars who were born after that date. But, so 1993 or 1990, the Soviet Union essentially collapsed, and then all of the Eastern Bloc countries all started to collapse around it. And Yugoslavia had been run by a dictator named Tito, and he was basically strong-arming the country to keep it all together. And, of course, as soon as he was out of the picture, then they all fell upon each other with the ferocity of many people who have had to live with other people for a very long time and have hated each other, and there was religious strife. Not even just religious strife. There was even you're in your country and we're in our country in our area. Well,
there's also a country.
You've got to understand.
Country cleansing
You've got to
as well.
understand that this goes back a very long way.
No, I get that.
When the Ottoman Turks they invaded into Europe, and of course they would attack forward and then they'd go back and they'd go forward and go back, and so they'd leave pockets of and groups of people who would stay and settle in these areas, sort of thing. So, and they usually found ways of trying to get along with each other. But the Balkans have generally been cause of most of the upsets that have happened in the 20th century. They were, of course, the start of World War One. And they weren't so instrumental in the Second World War because Nazi Germany just simply washed through there.
I was about to say they just...
Yes, they just rolled the tanks in. And everybody kind of... They did put up, I think it was like a 67-day war or something like that.
Oh, did they?
They held up for a while. But
oh, wow, I didn't even know that. I just assumed they'd just...
Yes,
done what most of the countries in that area had done and just said,
yep.
We don't have the resources to attack you. And
Yep, so everybody hated everybody, and, to all intents and purposes. I don't know how they're going nowadays, but I dare say that there's still a lot of bad blood there.
Is it still that bad now? As in they're not in a war, they're not currently in war in that area,
They're
are they?
not. They're not. I think what's happened is the country has devolved like you've got...
You've got Croatia and Serbia and Bosnia. And
Bosnia-Herzegovina
they've all sort of split up.
Yeah, so they've all gone into their default groups sort of thing. So, but when this was all happening, it was absolute carnage, and people who'd been living side by side each other were all killing each other left, right and centre. And, of course, it's not just the Balkans that this has happened. It's happened in Africa and it's happened in other countries all around the world. It's happening right now in Iraq. And it's not something that usually gets covered, and it's not easily understood by people. We do, as Western countries, tend to think of these things as like one nation state going up against another, where more often than not, like there's talk, for example, of the United States devolving into civil war, and they think, I've heard quite a few people talking about that. I think it's not probable. I think there's a slim possibility of it.
I assumed it was just people being...
But if it does, it will be like a Serbian conflict, in that it'll be neighbours killing neighbours. It won't be, one state killing another state sort of thing. If people think that that's what it's going to be, it's not going to be that at all. But look, I honestly don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so.
The way things are panning out, I think there's quite a lot of hope that things will right themselves, so fingers crossed.
But during the 90s in this area, because they had been one nation under a dictator, and that had fallen over, and now they're all...
That's right. Just like with Stalin, in Death of Stalin, you had one strong man holding everybody together, and as soon
forcing everyone together.
Forcing them all together. And as soon as that's pulled out, everything goes to shit. It's like a grenade's been thrown in the room.
Well, everyone's going for power as well.
Yep.
They're thinking,
Yep.
hang on, we want to be in charge. No, we want to be in charge.
They all want to be in charge, and nobody knows that they're going to survive at the end of the day. Yep.
But
And that's, of course, the basis of very good comedy.
So when did you first see this film, Paul?
You twitched only slightly. You're getting very good at that.
I'm ignoring it now. Paul, you put this movie up.
I did.
Why?
I wanted to see... It's an extremely sad and touching film.
You wanted to see me cry?
I don't think you'd admit that you would anyway. I don't think you would. But I'm not going to worry about spoilers tonight. Because,
Do you like this film? Or did you just put it up just to try and get at me?
No, I do like this film because the film is about a man who has been on the road, who has, through the acts of others, thrown his own humanity away and then loses it completely when he loses all hope of ever regaining humanity, and he slowly but surely crawls his way back through to gaining it again. You know, the man was utterly lost. You know,
utterly lost.
He was hurting so much that he was just
I don't even think he was hurting. He was numb.
He was dead inside. You know, and when he squeezed off the trigger on that little boy, the boy on the bridge, that showed you like the complete nadir of which he was in.
Well, at first I went, how could he do that? But then I saw the other scene that would have happened previous to that. So the way that was shot was really interesting.
Yep.
You know, where that guy had said, "Oh, come on, I've got chewing gum for you," and that girl blows him up.
Yep.
So then it makes more sense, but I still didn't like it. And I love the way they've revealed that scene. So
I think it's an artfully made film. There are times...
It is done really well.
Did it lift your opinion of Dennis Quaid?
Well, I actually don't have a bad opinion about Dennis Quaid.
Okay,
I
well,
know he does a lot of different sort of films.
He does, and a lot of people don't think of him as a serious actor, but by Jesus, this will set him straight.
He's very good at doing... I know he doesn't seem to do many different roles, but he can actually do many different roles.
He's an excellent actor.
He's been in a lot of different films.
Yep.
And people don't give enough credit because he's sort of only... I would say famous for certain roles, and people go, it's because he's, it's his comedy role or it's that.
Kind of like the straight back kind of guy. He's a straight man to a comedy double.
But he does really well in different roles, and not everyone can do that.
No.
And in this film, he does a really good job. I really felt for his character, and the way he portrayed it was brilliantly done. I actually really enjoyed this film.
I was really surprised to hear that.
Why is that? Can I ask? I want to know why you...
I don't think there'd be many women who would actually enjoy this film at any level.
You have to admit...
It is brutal on women.
It is brutal, but it's a realism.
Yes.
And it does educate you in what was happening at this time. And it's not even that long ago. So, to me, it's an eye-opener. Yes, it can be brutal, but it's just so real. It's shot so real, and it's shot so well.
It doesn't make excuses for anybody.
No.
And nobody comes out of this a hero. The only one... Well, nobody comes out. Even the girl, she wanted the child to die, at the start, until the maternal instincts kicked in, sort of thing.
Even then, it was, the way she's been brought up, if you've been raped, it's your fault.
Yep. And doesn't the father win Arsehole of the Year award?
No, because...
No.
No. Do you know why he doesn't? Because that's how they're brought up. That's how...
Yeah, but...
It's different, you sitting here in Australia...
Yeah, I know, but...
Compared to that culture there. And there, do you know what? That still happens today.
All of what you're saying is true.
So it's actually... This would be a good film for people who are in nice, cosy armchairs listening to us going,
well, that's right.
I'm privileged,
yes.
Life's pretty good. But you know what? Even just a little while ago, there was war happening. This was what was happening in war. And even when these people and women are suffering, being raped, are prisoners of war, not getting fed, are still being treated like it was their fault.
What, may I ask, was the hardest scene for you to watch?
When she was getting hit with the hammer.
Yeah.
That was pretty. Do you know what? I thought, oh my gosh, how brave are you? And I understand why, but my gosh.
Yep.
Because there's no way he could have done anything with all those men there with guns.
Yep.
And she knew that. So...
Merry Christmas, Pip.
But it's beautifully done.
It is. And I'm really surprised and very glad that you liked it. and you enjoyed it, which is surprising.
Do you know what? It's not a movie I will watch again.
No, good God, no. I only watch it once a decade.
But-
I only pull it out every once in a while.
And it's
but,
very sad. It makes you go,
yes.
oh my gosh, I can't believe there are countries out there that do this to people.
But it's not even about countries. It's about who we
culture.
are. It's humanity.
Humanity. It does happen, and people need to remember this.
Yes.
So it is a very sad film.
Do you want the Christmas link now?
Oh, go for it.
This movie teaches us to be kind to all men and to have goodwill amongst all
And women?
men. It goes without saying. But, I use the men in the plural of
I did that
humanity.
to Charlie the other day, and she said, "You mean men, women, and children, Mum?" And I went, "People. We have to be all nice to all people."
You got outflanked by the flanker.
I went, "Oh, I've got to stop
Yes.
speaking in old school."
How do you think I feel, Pip? And I got the vocabulary of somebody from the 70s, God help me.
But I was actually really surprised because it's such a, it's been made by Serbians mostly.
Yes.
And like director and the main actors except for Dennis.
It's a beautiful country.
Yes.
Oh my God,
it's gorgeous.
Stunning, isn't it?
It is gorgeous.
I'd love to go there. I really would.
I haven't been.
I think Eastern Europe is far more interesting, and it's.
I've only got as far as Austria.
I think if you turned right when you hit Austria, and kept going like all the way through to.
Oh
Romania,
no, I hadn't got that far.
I think you'd see some amazing.
I
stuff.
imagine it'd be absolutely gorgeous.
Like old castles and things,
Oh,
because
yeah,
everything's really like there's not tourism out there the way there is everywhere else.
Well, that's
in Europe.
because, war was only in the 90s.
Yes.
That's still pretty
And you still got to be
fresh.
careful where you walk. Don't go off the beaten paths because they did put an awful lot of landmines up there.
But no, I thought it's a very sad, tragic film, but it's shot so well,
Yes.
and it's portrayed so well that you go, well, I understand, and I see why it's happened that way and everything. So,
Yep. All right.
I did have to go and research because I know a little bit about the Bosnian War.
Right.
But I did have to go and research afterwards because I thought, well, hang on, I wasn't exactly wasn't exactly sure which side he was on at first. I was a little bit confused. So
Well, he was the French Foreign Legion, so the French shouldn't have been in there sticking their dick in there either.
I know, but I had to go.
Nobody was in the right in this.
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I had to go, after I watched the film, I went, I do need to go back and reread some stuff about that. So,
Yeah. And so it was like,
and when the old man's saying, well, what did he say? I'm Serbian, my wife's Croatian.
Yes,
Before this,
exactly.
it wasn't an issue, but now it's...
Yes, and all of the old hatreds come out. And this is why when you hear people talking on the TV or talking, and they mention races of any description and, they're bad-mouthing them, this is what they're trying to lead you down the path to.
Just crazy.
And that's why they have to be stopped. Because this is the end result. That's why I put this film up.
But what was interesting was in that scene where she gets hit by the hammer.
Yep.
Would
you like to describe? Because
no, I don't. But what I want to say, no, I do not want to describe it.
Well, I will because I think it's an important.
Can I say something
scene.
first before you describe the film?
It then.
No, I don't want to describe it. I just want to say something before I forget. So, one of the men gets out. He just picks at random a young fellow.
Yes.
And he shoots him.
Yes. Now this is a mass killing here we're talking about.
So they've got a busload of people out of the town.
Yep.
She just happens to be on the bus because she's gone in to look for a bus and she's got caught.
She got caught up in all of this.
Anyway, they've just picked someone and shot him. Now, what I found weird about the scene was about 10 people have immediately dropped. So
to their knees and started praying.
Yes, because of the religious differences.
Yes.
But everyone gets killed, no matter what religion they are.
That's right. Yep.
So that's what I mean when you said it's a religious film. I'm thinking, well, is it actually a religious film? It's more of a...
It's the justification used for violence.
Yeah, but the thing is, they kill everyone. Nobody...
That's right.
Doesn't matter what religion they were.
That's exactly right.
You're on that side of the side of the grass.
Once you start,
that's it. You're shot.
Once you start killing people in that kind of environment, it doesn't.
But that's what
matter.
I mean. To me, it doesn't
it's
seem
them
like
or you.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like a religious film purely because they were killing everyone.
But it's the religious.
They use that as an excuse, but then they just kill everybody.
Well, it's a big bloody excuse.
No, but the fact is they were killing, there wasn't even that. It was just, I will kill everyone. I don't care.
Yep.
Even when he's shooting people in the mosque, And then he goes, that's it, I'm going to join the French Legion and I'll just kill everyone. I don't care who I'll kill.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, hang on, how does it go from that to then suddenly I don't care about anyone at all and I'll kill everyone?
Because people